Welcome to Football Overseas, your ultimate destination for thrilling sports content. Brace yourselves for an exhilarating journey through the world of football and beyond. We're more than just scoreline predictions and match analysis. Get ready for a diverse range of shows designed to ignite your passion for sports. Step into the action with our lineup of shows: Champions Crystal Ball for all UEFA tournaments, Premier League Game Month Show, La Liga Game Month Show, Libertadores Vision for Copa America and Copa Libertadores, Goal Plus Africa covering AFCON and African football, Harem B Stars Unleashed predicting Kenyan national football team matches, Eurovision for European tournaments, and the Football Debate Show, your go-to for the hottest debates. And that's not all. Dive into the excitement of NHL, NBA, NFL, T20 cricket, rugby sevens, and much more. Football Overseas is your hub for a wide range of sports. Football Overseas, where passion meets sports. Join us on this thrilling journey, subscribe, engage, and be part of the excitement. Buckle up for an adrenaline-pumping ride. The game is on. Stay tuned with Football Overseas, and let's celebrate the world of sports together.
So, okay, hey guys, welcome to a new stream. Yeah, we're live for Man United versus Chelsea preview, and we have Wolfie. What's
Can
up,
you hear me,
Wolfie?
bro?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
I
you.
can't
I
hear
can
you. 1 second. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, so yeah, we're live for that, and yeah, I'll give Wolfie a bit of seconds.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Because I can't hear you, Carl. I don't know if that's anybody else, if that's just me, because I'm on my phone at the moment, so I don't know if anyone else can hear me. 1 second.
Wait. Uh, uh, hello, testing. Hello, testing, testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Oh, you can hear me. Oh, good. I think maybe it was on his side. Yeah. So, United versus Chelsea preview. I'll give him a few seconds to join, then hopefully he joins back. Yo, Wolfie,
You
can
got,
you hear
bro.
me?
I'm still having I don't know why, but I think... Can talk a bit? Because I'm not sure if you can...
Now,
I
can
know
you hear
that the
me?
mic's coming up that it says you can hear me, but I can't hear you, so I'm just checking if I've maybe hit the wrong button or something. 1 second. Yes, audio. Allow.
You can hear me? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he's having a problem with his mic. Anyway, so yeah, Manchester United versus Chelsea preview. This is game week 5, and yeah, this is game week 5, and there's a lot to talk about. And yeah, I don't know what's the issue with this mic. Yeah, but anyway, we're live for that, and yeah. So yeah, injuries ahead of this game is I saw that Mount is coming back for this game. Also, Cunha is coming back for this game. It is confirmed by Amorium Ruben. Yeah, so yeah, Dalot is still injured. Lisandro Martinez is still injured. Update on Lisandro Martinez is he could be coming back in October. Dalot, it looks like a grade 2 injury. Oh, so probably that's the issue. Yeah, so Dalot is, yeah, it looks like a grade 2 muscle injury, though it's not confirmed because I know grade 1 he'll have been out for a few days, but Dalot was withdrawn from the Portuguese training ground from the international break and he missed the game against Manchester City. Yeah, I think it's then on his side, to be honest. So anyway, let me do the preview on my own. Yeah, not mine. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to do the preview. Suspensions, there's no suspensions ahead of this game. There's no suspension returns, injury returns. You have Cunha and Mount. I thought these guys would have returned for after international break of October, but seems like they're back. Yeah, and yeah, I I saw that ahead of this game that Sajim Active is having a meeting with Urban Avenue. People suspect it could be about finding out what the issue is because yeah, let's be honest, we didn't have a good start to the season. Yeah, welcome back, Wolfie.
Oh,
Now can you
what's
hear
up,
me,
brother? Sorry,
Wolfie?
can you hear me now? Sorry about
Yeah, I
that.
can hear you.
Bro, I don't know, some madness, bro. Instagram just like they just blocked my audio all of a sudden, so I had to just quickly run to my PC, turn everything on, put the camera in and everything. I'm like, no. Sorry, I didn't need to be late for that car, man. Sorry, I don't know why the Instagram got upset on my phone all of a sudden. Sorry, brother, man. I didn't mean to be late. My bad. Sorry. What are we talking about?
Yeah, it
You
is
good?
the Manchester United versus Chelsea preview. So
Mm.
yeah, that's a preview ahead of the game. So yeah, how was your performance against Bayern Munich? How did you find it?
It's a very difficult question. Without trying to make it over good in patches, bad in patches. Because one thing about it, when we were actually going toe to toe with Bayern, we could open them up quite easily. We scored immediately after they did. The first, like when they got their second, we opened them up quite a few times. There was just that lack of what's the word? That lack of experience. Because the one thing about it is with Chelsea, with the way we've signed players, when you build a house, you put loads of bricks down to get the foundation to build that house up. But the problem is with these owners is they take these amount of bricks out, bring some new bricks in, then they expect it all to work straight away, and it doesn't quite work that way. I think out of all the best things about the game against Bayern, I have to say probably João Pedro. That guy was balling on. I know we didn't win the game, and I know he didn't score, but if you look at how he was attacking them on his own, and he was bending them up and turning them and playing people into channels, João Pedro was like, mwah. I think we've got a really good signing there. I was quite pleased for him. Reece James did all right in the midfield when he was there, but we just made too many mistakes with our distribution out of the back, man. I don't know why they did. Sometimes I'm pretty sure you have this at United yourself. You just wish they just hoof it up the pitch and just try and win the ball further up the pitch instead of just trying to play out from the back and just get caught on the ball, brother. It was terrible because when you look at their 2 goals were replicas, and the Harry Kane penalty was just him being clever. So, I mean, he just turns Caicedo, and Caicedo just sticks his leg through him, and I mean, that's Harry Kane being clever.
I think in a game, midfield star goal against Bayern Munich. I think that, as you mentioned, it could be about the lack of experience, right?
Mm. Well, it's the
Yeah,
know-how.
because oh,
You okay?
the know-how.
Well, the
Yeah, I'm
know-how, yeah.
okay.
Well,
Yeah,
know-how meaning when you're playing out from the back, knowing it's decision-making, isn't it? Knowing where to go, where to do it, when not to pass into danger. Because, like, when you look at their second goal, or the second goal they actually scored from open play, like, we pass out to the right. We're not really looking at what we're doing, and people are turning on themselves and passing back to the goalkeeper and not looking at where the Bayern players are. Because obviously he passes it back, and who does he roll it straight to? Harry Kane. Good finish, by the way. And I have to say, Sanchez as well, he played all right. And to answer Aaron's question about aren't you more excited for Delap than over Pedro, not really, brother, because I think when you look at the 2 players, how they've started, the impact he's had, I have to say maybe you got to give credit where credit's due to Pedro is. Like that Chelsea striker thing's always been kind of a curse, the Nkukus and stuff. I think realistically, he's looked the most comfortable out of a lot of the centre forwards we signed recently. And like even he looks more comfortable than Jackson, because Jackson, I like Jackson because he can run off the ball and he can cause problems, but he doesn't look like. And I go back to decision making and experience and knowing what to do and how to do it. I think Pedro has that over the lap at the moment. So and that game for Wednesday kind of like for me shows that, because he didn't have a great game himself because he wasn't allowed to be in a lot of goal scoring positions, but I think he helped Palmer with an assist. When he headers it back down for Palmer to equalise, so he's a good player, man. I really like him, and I wasn't too sure about him when we first signed him, but it's just one of the reasons. But when I've been watching him slowly, I think we're gonna get a really good player there. And how much we paid for him? What was it, 60 mil or 55, something like that? Like nowadays, when you get a player like that, bro, he's already scored 2 goals, got 3 assists. That's not bad, is it? Like opening game, considering that the history of Chelsea forwards, it's not a bad opening return.
yeah, and also I think for the lab as well, you are right to mention about your worries about the lab. I think the lab is yet to mature up as a striker in the Premier League, because you guys bought him after how many seasons? 1.5 season in the Premier League, right? Yes, and
Yes.
somebody like Joe Pedro, he has had like 2 to 3 seasons in the Premier League. He has even went back and then came back again. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's maturity in the Premier League could be the issue between Delap and Pedro. Pedro is more used to the Premier League than Delap is.
Mm.
Yeah,
True, but the thing is, with okay, one's 23, one's 22, 21. Let me ask you a question right now, Ryan. Everyone in the chat, if you want to jump in on this, who do you think, when you look at them right now, is more talented, Pedro or Delap?
I'll say Pedro.
Well, your eyes don't lie, do they? And about the the Brighton loyalty membership, hey, dude, man. Like everyone buys team like players from teams. Like, I remember a few years back when Liverpool just bought the whole Southampton team basically, and that includes Van Dijk. No one's complaining about that now. When they bought Mane and Van Dijk and all them lot from Southampton, trust me, no one was moaning. And I tell you what we got who have we got so far? We got Concedo from them. We got Cucurella from them. You know what I mean? Why not? Like, if it works out, like, and he actually turns out to be a good player, I don't mind signing from Brighton. And I'm not being funny so far. I've just, with the 3 players I've just mentioned, well, boy, Concedo, Cucurella, they're probably one of our best performers consistently. You know what I mean? Concedo definitely up there. He's top 5 midfielders in the Premier League for me, because the amount of donkey work that guy does, and he can still score you a goal, get up and down the pitch, make up interceptions. Pedro, but for me, to that higher ceiling, well, If you're injured all the time, you don't reach your ceiling. That's the problem with Delap. And like Kyle said with Delap as well, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to ask him about, because his team is Man United has signed quite a few forwards. So with Delap, he's got the physicality, he's got the talent in terms of he knows how to make himself into dangerous positions, similar to how Jackson does. But can you get the ball in the back of the net? That's always going to be the issue, because Jackson's talented. That's why he's gone to Bayern Munich. But a lot of people say for Chelsea he doesn't score enough goals. Yes, but when you're relying on a 22, 21-year-old, you expect about 10 goals from them a season. You know what I mean? He was never going to be this 30-goal-a-season goal scorer that everybody thought would hope he would turn out to. That's not how this works, considering he was never naturally a striker. So he was more of an inside forward on the left for Villarreal. So with Delap and Pedro, I do see guys that can actually stay up front and be that physical presence. They can muscle in on teams. Like Pedro can use his skill, Delap can use his ability in terms of his physicality. But like you just said, because he's of injury, he hasn't actually been able to settle into the Chelsea team yet. Where I think with Pedro, he's settled in effortlessly. You know what I mean? Like he's just, you know what I mean? He's played there for a little while. Your forwards are way better than Cunha and Menbo versus Tesco. Well, yeah, on to Man United a little bit. Like, what do you think of your forwards? Because you signed Sesko and Cunha, sorry. Because you guys signed some good players. So, like, what's going on with you lot, boy? Man United, talk to me, Carl, man. I've been waiting to talk to you for this for ages. And Fuzzy.
No, I think with United we have like Bomo. I can tell Bomo is our best attacking player this season, and also I think as well with Bomo and Cunha, they attack and they win the ball back. But the problem is, how do we put the ball into the box? And once we put the ball in the box, they forget how to score goals. That's the issue. Our players forget. Because yes, I find there's a lot of times in the season where I find we struggle to close those balls from the wings to the box, and then find to once we do get the ball into the box, we try some crazy shots like a scissor shot instead of a simple shot. So as well, I think there's a lot that we need to learn as well. I think Sesko is disadvantaged by lack of proper closing as well. But
But he's got to
if
learn.
I consider
Sesko's got to learn,
everything,
bro. He's got to come and adapt. So,
yeah, he got to adapt, and that was one of my worries. Is you see at Leipzig he got fed those balls and everything else, but at United it's very hard for a striker to get goals because we don't know how to feed our strikers those balls so that they can header it in. We don't know how to close the balls into the box. We don't know how to build the ball into the box as well. So for a striker, it's a harder job being a striker at United than being a striker in Napoli, in Germany, and all those other teams because those teams know how to provide service for the strikers so that the strikers can be a striker instead of somebody who has to create those chances for
what you're talking
himself.
about is a pressing. At the minute, Man United rely too much on a pressing forward. Would that be something to say? Someone who builds pressure up by trying to take the ball off the defenders, and that's not really what you guys are about, are you? You with your classic history, you guys have always had a creative midfield, and I'm not being funny, bro. Like one thing about your midfield that's always confused me ever since Pogba. You've got all these players, but the midfield always looks so blunt. Like it's just. I don't know. You tell me as a Man United fan, what is your first team midfield? What is your first 11 midfield? Because I don't know. Personally, like you can spin it, but it's like you got lots of good players, but there's like when you think about Man United's 11, you think who should start, and then you start thinking about it, it's like I don't know who should start. Like, give me your take on how this team's been built because you lot have spunked a lot of money like on your team. Like, because I know a lot of people like to say that Chelsea have bought like loads of it, but you guys have done the opposite. You guys have spent a lot of money, but then got virtually nothing back for it. So, like, I want to know how you feel about that, and like, where does your team go from here, like in terms of the building process? Like, what do you believe it should be like? Because I'm not being funny with the build you've got.
I,
You should be able to do something.
Yeah, if I look at my midfield, I'll say my midfield is not suitable for a 3-4-2-1 formation. I'll say it's suitable for a 4-2-3-1 formation or a 4-3-3 formation. And I think also Amaral is misprofiling some players. Like some players like Bruno. Bruno is not good at playing as holding the ball position. Bruno is good at creating those chances. That's why we find that this season we have only depended on one player, Bomo, for creating those chances, or Cunha. Like if United freed up more options for those players who are good at creating chances, like Bruno to play in and in attacking midfielder role, maybe we'll have created more chances for the striker. Well, yeah, and also I feel like United's midfield, we need somebody who knows a younger version of somebody who knows how to hold possession, and while the other midfielder can clutch opposition as well.
Because you guys don't really have
Yes,
two
we have
wingers
Kobe.
anymore, do
Kobe,
you? Not really.
do
You
we?
know your wingers are like who? Because I'm trying to think who gives Man United width. You know, in terms of when you open up the play. Because I've never. Bruno is central. Cunha's more central. Sesko's more central. I was just thinking, like, where does your creativity from the wide positions come? And what happened to Manu as well, bro? This guy's kind of like Kobe Manu. Like, this guy was like the hottest thing, like beginning of last season, and this guy's just gone. Like, was
No, that's what I'm talking about. I think Ruben is mixing up profiles of players because how can you expect Kobe, who's a CM, who's good at creating chances, or who's good at creating possession for United at the center of the midfield, compared to somebody like Bruno, who's good at creating chances at the forward side of the midfield? If you get what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yes. Like those are two different kinds of players. It's like having a carrot succeed a banana. It's not
That
possible.
sounds like Man United management right now,
And
bro. A carrot succeeded by a banana. That sounds like Man United management right now. Because what's your thoughts on Amarin? Does this guy have a long-term future with you guys, or is it just like, you know, is it like grab your shoes time?
I feel like if he stays as rigid as he is and he doesn't learn how to adapt to United's squad, because let's be honest, United's squad at the quality and the type of players that we have, we cannot play a 3-4-2-1. Yes, we can in the next few seasons, but right now we cannot. Like Amorim's system needs wing backs. The only wing back I can think of is Mazuari. The lot is good at attacking, but he doesn't know how to close the balls into the box. The dog who doesn't know how to close the balls into the box is that he's good at attacking. I think when I look at United midfield wing backs, I can say we don't have proper mid backs. While how I think Ruben will have been perfect for Chelsea, because Chelsea you have wing backs, you have Gusto, you have Rhys James on the left, on the right. On the left you have
Cucurella.
players who can go down the wings. So I feel like again, Ruben should have, when he came to United last season, he should have played a 4-2-3-1. Like you know how Zabi Alonso knew that when he was coming to into Real Madrid cannot thrive in a 3-4-2-1. So what Zabi did, he adjusted his formation to suit Real Madrid, what Real Madrid is used to, while playing his tactics in that
Yeah, yeah.
formation. So I think that Ruben, that's the first mistake Ruben did, is he came into the club. Yes, he did not want to come into the club midway of the season, but
No,
then
but you
he
can't use
came
that
into the
excuse
club.
now because this is the season after, so he hasn't got that excuse. How
Yeah,
he got there, I know he
I'm
was
not
upset
using
about that, but how he got there is now irrelevant. You're there, you got to get on with it now.
yeah, I'm not using that
Oh
as
no,
an
him,
excuse.
Amarin,
I'm blaming
not you
him.
as a fan. Him, Amarin. You can't use that as an excuse, man. I know he said he didn't want to come so early because he didn't want to feel like he's betraying anybody or whatever it was he said. But at some time, you've got to just be honest and say to yourself, like, look, that was last season. You've had this season. You've had a full preseason. Because it's not like, let's be honest, like, where did you guys go on preseason tour this year? Where did United go? Was it America?
We we had a poor precision tour. Like before, like after the season was ended, we went to Hong Kong. We struggled to beat teams in Hong Kong. We had to have the second half where we can beat teams. First half was poor. I think that's what we struggled in. And yeah, and I can see some of those games like this season where I can resemble it to the post season tour that we had. Because remember, United went on two tours. It's a post season tour and the pre season tour. Post season, you can see the difference how United plays now and post season tour. It's a similar way. But how United played in pre season and how United is playing now, those are two different ways.
Well, yeah. And what would you describe the difference?
I feel like the difference is that we have forgotten how to attack as a team, how to defend as a team.
Any
Because
would you analyze any particular reason or setup, or what would you say was just like this? The formation, is that the main problem for you? The way the team set up is wrong.
no, in terms of defense, what I'll say is our players need to learn how to do basic defending 101. Because you can find at some point the, the way United defense is, it exposes us like where if somebody like Haaland that sprints into our defense, he can easily outrun our defense and score a goal. Like the way we defend is not as good as how City defends, how Liverpool defend. Can find City and Liverpool defend in a straight line. United's defense in an
Wait,
angle
hang on.
manner.
One thing, I understand where you brought the comparison up to Man City and Liverpool just then, but one thing I will say is, I think Man City now are definitely not the Man City of 2 seasons ago when they had De Bruyne and a fully firing, Foden. I think bringing who was it that went to Barcelona and came back again? Gundogan. I
It
think signing him
was
again was a mistake because they didn't really need him and they needed to buy someone else, and that's why they spent 200 mil in the January transfer window last season, like with Mamouche and them lot, to try and cover up their own. Because realistically, once Rodri got injured for them, they were finished because they could never control. Even now, they can't really control games. I know they've just beaten you lot, but you know what I mean. Like that's United are not exactly the hardest team to beat in the Premier League at the moment, are you? Don't and I bet you any money when you play against us, you'll raise your game as well. That's the funny thing because when we us lot play each other, it's not heated or like it's not. What's the way you expression it? It's not controversial, but it's always a game where there's always a lack of quality between Chelsea and Man United. It rears its ugly head. Like you guys can't finish or we can't defend or you know what I mean. It always in the bigger games like with Chelsea and Man United right now, and you saw it with us against Bayern Munich. You see the mistakes come out. But with you guys, that's more prevalent because you guys can't hold your performances like we can at certain times. You know what I mean? There's certain teams good
I
games
think
against. You guys don't have good games against anyway.
I think whenever we play Chelsea, we play Chelsea at a time when we have a poor form. It's either when the manager is on under a lot of pressure, as Ruben is right now. I won't be surprised if United goes to Chelsea and beats Chelsea like 2-0 or 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how United players play when the manager is under pressure, play like a defense team. And yeah, I know many teams will be like, "Oh, why is Chelsea not confident of beating United?" Is because United is a different beast under different reasons. Whenever we play Chelsea when we are under pressure and when we are on a long run of poor form, and we need that motivational win or that glow or that performance to boost our morale. Because let be honest, and now the squad morale at United is low right now.
Can I ask you,
Like we
if we
haven't
score the
scored.
first goal, is it on Sunday? Is it Sunday or tomorrow? No, is it Sunday, isn't it? Man United Chelsea's on Sunday, isn't it? Oh, it's
Saturday.
tomorrow. All right. So yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure for a second. I can't remember. But I was just gonna say that. Do you think if we score the first goal, you guys are in deep trouble and then won't come back?
It's a thing about United. When an opponent scores against us, we panic
Mm-hmm.
and we crumble as a club. We go into our little shell and we crumble as a club, and then we start to make silly mistakes, and that's how Chelsea or another team scores another goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, that's the issue. And I think United, if Chelsea scores fast, I won't be surprised if Chelsea goes again in like 30 minutes and scores the second goal.
Mm. You got enjoyed it. Tomorrow night for five. Oh, thank you. Cheers for that. I was busy today. I was meant to check earlier what day it was on, but I was doing shopping. Yo, but yeah, with the only thing I will say this year, because this is one thing United have worked. United, whenever you guys play us, you always counter attack us. And I got to think that's our Achilles heel
Yeah.
because you'll do what Bayern did in the second half against us the other day. You'll sit deep and you'll just try and catch us out. I think, and I think that's what you guys are gonna do tomorrow. And depending on how, because the one thing about with Chelsea is, I would say what's our strongest 11, but he never seems to play the exact same 11 every time. Like if you look at last week when we played, who was it we played last week? Was it Fulham? Who was it? Sorry, I've been so busy recently. Who was it? We literally it was
Brentford.
Brentford. Sorry, yeah, that was it.
Brentford.
And he started with Bonetti on the pitch, and you had Gittins on the left, and you had Wesley Fofana on the right back position. It was just like, why are any of these guys starting? Like, we all knew that we were going to get all taken off at halftime because they were just that bad. But it depends what. Because with me personally, I would probably, if I was Maresca tomorrow, I'd probably like Reece James at right back, Cucurella at left back, probably Chalobah and tossing. I would, I don't know, because the jury's out for Fana. He's fit now, but he doesn't really seem to be keen on him. So I'd have to probably say to Chalobah and Adebayo. By the way, he's been our best defender. By the way, I have to say, big up to Uncle. I know Uncle Adebayo. I know he's had problems with child support recently. Big up to him for that. You know what I mean? He's had like people knocking down in his door and trying to. But I think he's a good defender, man. He's been a good acquisition. Quietly does a good job. So, but I just want to see. I'd rather Lavia, Enzo, and Concedo in the midfield, and maybe have Palmer on the right. But I'm not sure. Maybe Santos then, if we couldn't have someone like Lavia, because I think we need that extra strength in midfield. Because if we can just like cut out your midfield, I think we'll win the game quite easily, really. Because realistically, that's your strongest aspect right now as United, isn't it? Your strikers are not that great. Your defense is not. But your midfield can be quite good. Would you not say that's a fair analysis?
I think if Ruben wants to win the game, I feel like a perfect midfield combo to go for is somebody like Kobe and Casemiro. I know many fans will be like, why? Because I think Kobe is somebody who's good at creating chances in the middle of the park, and Casemiro is somebody who's good at holding possession. And I feel like those two are our best options. Igate can sometimes be sloppy at that. That's why I bring Igate on in the second half. But I feel like in the first half, I'll most likely, yes, Cunha is back, but I feel like he has asked himself to be fit for this game. I'll have brought him on for the second half. Then I'll have started Bruno and Mbomo as attacking fielders. Yeah, so I feel like, yeah, it depends on how Ruben structures our midfield. I feel like we can beat Chelsea if Kobe is in the starting 11.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. What do you think of Rashford's performance for Barcelona yesterday against Newcastle? Do you think loaning him out was a mistake?
No, the thing with Rashford is he's capable of being consistent, but he's consistent when he wants something.
Mm.
Like you saw, like United, Rashford's best performance for United was when he wanted a new contract. Once he got a new contract, he went back to his sloppy form. He went back to being inconsistent. The same thing at Barcelona. people say, "Oh, well, Rashford is a problem. At United was a problem for Rashford." No, we're not. Because let's be honest, Rashford will play well for Barcelona this along this season because he's trying to earn a permanent exit away from United. Next season he'll play well because he's trying to prove why he was bought. And then once he settles down is when you'll see the real Rashford coming back to play.
Do you believe he has a future at United?
No, I feel like he's done at United. That's like Garnacho and Rashford. Those guys are too inconsistent. Yes, they have talent, but as a footballer, you need to have consistency.
Bro, I'm not being funny. Yeah, I'm glad I can talk to you about it. When I heard that we're buying Garnacho or Fuller, I was just like, please don't, please don't. I don't know why. It must be revenge for Mason Mount or something, bro. It must be. It must be. Why we gave you one scrub to take one off your hands is just a joke to me, man. Because you can see. One thing I hate about Garnacho is you can see that he's trying, but the problem with him, he's one of those guys. He's like a Jadon Sancho sometimes in the sense of he gets the ball so many times and he hardly does anything with it. You'll see him like do jockeys and all that kind of stuff, but like he's end product, man. It's not there for me. I think you guys done us out of 40 mil there. See what happens with him though. Early days for him. Early days. He's only had what? I don't think he's had full 90 minutes yet. So maybe we'll have to see what happens with him. But I just think that with what I was saying earlier before about the way they've, because I don't understand why we got rid of Madueke to sign this guy, bro. It kind of it was just kind of weird to me. Like the way we're starting doing our signings is just kind of strange. It's kind of strange. But how would you set up United, right? If you were the manager of Man United now, how would you set the team up?
How I'll set up with United.
Yeah, for the game.
Okay, I feel like the way United is right now, we have an issue with our left back. Even if I wanted to set up United in a 4-2-3-1, we have an issue with our left back, right back. We only have one good right back, that is Mazuari. The lot is good at one point, but is not good at the other side of being a right back. So I feel like again we still need to invest in our wing, in our backs. Also, center back. Our center backs are aging. Center backs, we need to invest in our younger center backs. But if I was going to
Hang on, the leg, the leg's not old.
United,
The leg, bro. Hang on. Hey, hang on a minute now, Carl. Okay, because the leg is not old, bro. I don't
no,
want to hear
I'm
it.
talking about
And
Maguire.
Maguire's not that old either, is he?
He's 30.
Yeah. So, well, okay. Let me ask this before I run my mouth. Who is your first choice centre back pairing? Yours, not the club's. Just in your opinion, who would you start?
I'll choose Delete and Desandro Martinez.
Lissandro. How old's Lissandro Martinez?
I think he's around 26.
So you got two
To
25 and 26-year-old back. That doesn't sound like your backline's that old.
Yeah, but our depth is old.
Oh, you're dead.
Maguire is, yeah.
Oh, right. You ain't still got Lindelof, have you? Or is he gone now?
No, he went to Aston Villa.
So who's your fourth centre back?
We have Eden Heaven.
Oh yeah. Oh,
No,
have you got
Euro.
Evan?
No, Lenny Euro is our fourth centre back. And
Because I
then
was just
Eden
thinking
Heaven is
actually,
our fifth centre back.
right? Because you guys don't have a lot of depth in the defence, really, do you? Now that you've mentioned it, I'm just thinking about who's their full centre back or whatever. Like, no, because hang on, who's your obviously who's Shaw? Is Shaw still your main left back?
No, I think our main left back is Patrick Doko.
Uh, I don't know, man. It's so chop and changey with United. I'm not really sure how to call it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's why I was thinking that yes, once we fix our midfield, we still have to go back to our defense and fix it.
mm-hmm.
So we are in a mess.
When you said fix your midfield and fix your defence, how would you fix it?
Okay, like our midfield, we need somebody who's a ball carrying midfielder that's a younger version,
Yeah.
and then we need somebody who can hold position, a younger version of Casemiro.
When you say hold possession, what you mean? Hold the ball up or distribute it well without giving it away?
No, like you see, holding position is trying to withhold like pressure from the attacking midfield, the opposing team.
Mm.
Like you know how Casado does for Chelsea.
Yeah, yeah, but he can also be a ball carrier as well. He can make runs and take the ball away from defense. That's the other big thing. Yeah, but I understand your example. Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah. So like instead of how Casado does, instead of ball carrying, we need somebody who can hold that, hold the midfield down,
Like how
while
Garrett
the
used
other
to
midfielder can ball carry the ball.
Yeah, yeah, you can play the ball into him, and he knows how to keep hold of it, and he knows how
Yeah,
to like whether it be hold on to it or basically you guys are need. I don't know what's the close. I don't even know. Manu was probably the closest thing you guys have had to that recently, right? And someone that just takes the ball and holds the ball and tries to take it away from the defense. Like, or am
yeah,
I wrong? Because I'm not being Ugarte really. He's more of a ball winning midfielder. I don't really see him as a ball carrier. I'm just trying to think
yeah.
of the midfield.
I
Because
feel
wow, your
like
midfield's short as well. Actually, now that I think about it, because who's your midfielders? Who's your first team midfielders? You got Bruno, obviously. You obviously got Manu. Who else?
Manu, Kobe Manu, and
Yeah,
also
Bugatti.
Igate and Casemiro,
Oh, Casemiro.
and
I
Mount,
forgot about him.
Abomo, and Konya.
Bro, you know what? Whenever I hear your midfield, bro, I just think legs, bro. That they just got no legs in midfield. Because
And that's
you
the
guys,
point.
Amarin don't play Manu, did he? Not really. He hasn't played him this season, as far as I know, is he?
I think he should start playing Kobe in the midfield.
Yeah,
If you
so do
ask
I,
me.
man. Because don't you think that's part of Man United's problem? Like they got no engine anymore. Like you know what I mean? They can't keep up their performances. You know what I mean? Like they don't. For me, that's the problem with Man United. They got a very unbalanced team. They've spent all this money on forwards and changing and chopping and chiming in the front line. Kind of like what Chelsea did as well, really. But we've done it in a smaller way. Because we always change our front line, but never. Well, we should have invested in our midfield and our defence. Because even Enzo said he needed another centre back, and they didn't get him one. So you know what I mean? We got a 19 and a 20-year-old. It was just like, all right, cool. All right. Because I do think that depth in the Premier League is as much as anything nowadays, man. If you don't have no depth in the Premier, you're in problem. You've got trouble, bro. Especially if you're trying to win the league. You know, you need to be able
Yeah,
to pick on 14, 16 players, you know, solid ones.
yeah. When I look at United's midfield, I'll be honest. I think we need younger midfielders. Like you know how PSG has Neves, Vitina, and who else? They have a younger one.
What time? What, for tenure?
No, like you know how PSG's midfielders, the midfielders that are they have legs in them.
Yeah. I
They
know.
can
Yeah, they can
jump.
carry on pressing and running up and down all day long. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So United, we need that kind of people in our midfield.
That's a good example, actually, because PSG do play with a lot of energy. That's a really good example, and they're exact opposites of you guys. Because that's the one thing I don't like about watching United, but there's just no energy to them. They get into shape, and there's just I don't know if there's no aggression, no hunger, no desire. It's like no one looks like they want to work hard. And then when you think about it, like you said about the Maguires and the Brunos and the Casemiros, these guys are all like 32s, 33s. They ain't going to be bombing up and down all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're guys you add to a team that's got loads of youngsters, and all the youngsters do the running around. You know what I mean? Like, and then they can do what they do on the ball. Fabian Ruiz, says Aaron. Yeah, well, where he's even played.
yeah. I think with United we need that, but also I think I'll also blame that we have had poor management as a club.
Mm.
That we haven't found a way how we can fix the experience and the youth at the same time. We have too many experienced players and we have few youth players, and we can tell that that is catching up with us on the pitch as well.
Mm. So you just think it's a lack of energy then? It's just purely a lack of energy in the team. They can't really do what is expected of them.
Yeah, and also I feel like another issue that I feel like is next season we could become like another Chelsea. Like now Chelsea have young players, but you
Mm.
don't have experienced players.
Yeah, but the thing is, the one thing about the Chelsea idea is though, you can say about their inexperience. And it's not that some of the Chelsea players aren't inexperienced. It's because they're a young team, and what you think about the Palmers and the Cancelos and the the Enzo Fernandez is they've been together 2 years now. You know what I mean? Like, and I said about the bricks, like when you're building parts of that foundation, certain parts never change. But like when we mentioned about the Pedro the Pedro thing about earlier on about him and Delap, it's one of those ones where like they keep on chopping and changing. Our front line used to be in Cuckoo and Jackson, and now it's Pedro and Delap, and it's one of those ones where you need that stability. And I don't think where we've got more stability than I think we've got a lot more stability than United in terms of our team because Reece James would play, Carl Palmer would play, Concedo would play, Enzo would play, Pedro Neto would play because our first 11 is quite good. If you had Pedro Neto on the right and João Pedro up front, with I don't know, Estavo on the left, or even put Pedro on. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing Estavo on the left actually, because Pedro Neto doesn't play quite as good on the left as he does on the right. But then, like, the rest of the team can pick itself because you can have like the Palmers behind, you can have the Palmer on right. I think when it comes down to it, we're a lot more settled than United. You know what I mean? Like, look at Palmer. There ain't no one playing like Palmer for you guys. Like Bruno used to be that guy that used to be able to like bang 20 goals and get 15 assists, but he stopped doing that ages ago, man. I remember when United fans tried to compare Bruno Fernandes to Frank Lampard. I was just like, never.
No, I think with Bruno, I can say Bruno is a good midfielder, but I can never say Bruno is a world class midfielder.
Why wouldn't you say he's world class? Why? What?
I can never say he's world class.
Inconsistent?
There's times when he's inconsistent, and there's times when he you can tell that he should be behaving like a midfielder and also behaving like a captain at the same time.
Mm. Well, for me, sorry, excuse me. For you, he doesn't perform like a captain. What about that job is he lacking at? What doesn't he do that he should in your eyes?
Oh, okay. Like for example, at times you can find that Bruno is playing his best football, and at times you can find that he's playing poor football. He's passing as well. How he intercepts the balls can be sloppy as well.
So you just think basically his all-round game's not good enough in terms of like for a standard like United, because obviously he's just not consistent enough in the sounds of it. Because you're saying that he can play good one game, play bad another. So that sounds like inconsistency to me, and that's kind of the problem we have at the minute. You know what I mean? Like I think we've got it less bad than you because in 10 games, right, we'll turn up at 5. You guys will turn up at maybe 3, 2. Like you know what I mean? But it's not like your squad's not shit, but there's I don't know what's Amorium done because it just seems to be a complete lack of cohesion there. Players that maybe don't look like they know what they're doing, and that's on the manager. That's got to be on the manager because he sets up the system and he picks the players, so he takes responsibility for it. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
No,
It's all,
like when United got Bumo and Cunha, I thought United will go on and sell Bruno because when I look at that team, I'm like, why does Bruno not fit into that team? Cannot play him as a CM because he's not good at a CM. And attacking field, there's younger versions of him now. The team, there's Bruno, there's Bomo, there's Cunha. So where do you play Bruno now in this team? That's a key question.
well, would you drop him?
I see. I think at this point you can tell that Bruno is possible at some point
Well, like you
because
said, if what you said earlier was true about the age at Man United, where there's too much of the squad or the main first team is aged, That would be one of the first things to do, because I'm not being funny, bro. Like, I don't mean to be horrible when I say this, but it's kind of Bruno for me at Man United is a team. Sometimes the team has to carry when the team's doing great and they can carry like Bruno's, because he doesn't track back, he doesn't defend, does he? So and sometimes you guys really need that, because it's because we Man United don't have that fear factor anymore. When teams playing Man United against Man United now, they think they can hurt you, and they're really trying. And when you're in a situation like that, you said about earlier about you need to defend as a team. He doesn't do that. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't drop back or race like 30 yards to try and make a tackle. You know what I mean? Like I think sooner you get rid. I don't mean to be horrible, but I think you guys should just get rid of him. To be honest, because he's
Yeah,
obviously for me what he's good at. Because he's good for me on the edge of the opponent's box. That's how Bruno, when he was like getting like 20 goals a season, 15 assists. For me, that's what Bruno was good at. He was good at being in that pocket behind the striker, picking all the little holes. But at the minute, the way because Man United's midfield lacks quality, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say that, but because Man United's midfield lacks quality, like you said earlier about you find it so hard to create chances. You can't build up to the box and be around the edge of the D anymore, because United don't often get that far. You guys don't even really make chances anymore, do you? Not compared to how you used to.
yeah, we struggle athletic chances.
Because like, how? Because what you guys are? What you guys are lucky if you have 5 shots on target now normally. And the whole
No,
Anana
actually,
as well.
this could be athletic start, but United is leading in terms of the most shots in the Premier League this season
Well,
with 52.
they're not going in. You can have the most shots, bro, but if they're not going in, they don't matter squat.
Yeah,
When people say you have 80 shots, all right, if you can have 80 shots and only one of them were even remotely on target, then I mean that just makes it worse, because that brings your shot conversion down. Like, because this is how you really tell good players. Like when people say, all right, then is this player good at that or that guy? Look at their shot conversion, right? And I was having someone say to me, like, I'll give you an example, right? Someone was saying to me earlier, and you could back this up as a United legend, right? Teddy Sheringham, would he be able to play in modern football now? Do you think he would?
oh, Bruno.
No, Teddy Sheringham, right? The striker you guys had in the 90s, man. The guy that helped you guys win the treble. Teddy Sheringham. You don't know who Teddy Sheringham is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think those players will help us win the Premier League right now because of their legs.
No. Well, what I'm saying, if he was there in the heyday, he was a good finisher. Sheringham, Teddy Sheringham was an excellent finisher, brother. He was definitely better than Sesko, and like people like Nicholas Jackson as a finisher. I guarantee you, if you gave that guy the ball in the box compared to someone like a Sesko or a Jackson, I guarantee you he's putting the ball in the back of the net where the others didn't. So, like, because one thing I don't like about footballers nowadays, they tend to focus more on being athletes than players. And that's detrimental to them, because it's like you're working their bodies extra. They play 15, 20 games extra a season. The preseason and rest in between are getting shorter. And I'm not moving, other than maybe a 60 game, 70 game club season, they want to throw 30, 40 international games on top of that. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's going to be peak for these footballers, boy, because their bodies are going to get torn apart. It's not even pretty. So,
Yeah, I think an average footballer plays around 70 games in a season.
and you look at the Chelsea players. They got 3 weeks off, bro. You reckon you can play 70 games across a year and only have 3 weeks off each year?
No, at some point it will break down.
Well, yeah, exactly. You're going to get to the point with your body. And this is why these guys get so badly, horrifically injured nowadays. Because the strain on their body is a lot more. And that's the thing, like, a lot of people don't understand. Because the sports science aspect, yes, the sports science aspect of football tries to make you healthier. You've got better medical science and etc. But in terms of actually, when do footballers nowadays actually become better footballers? Do you know what I'm saying to you? Like, how do they become better players? They may become better athletes in training, but how do they become better players?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point because you see, also they have limited time in the training pitch as well. and clean the ground
No, they
as
don't.
well. So,
They don't have limited. You know why I know that's a lie? Because when you think about Rio Ferdinand, David Beckham, Frank Lampard, all these guys that were ballers, bruv, you know what they did when training finished? They went back outside in the training ground and trained on by themselves. Frank Lampard, every training session, right, every time training used to finish, he used to go outside in the pouring rain and practice finishing. That's why that guy banged 20 goals a season for 10 years in a row from midfield, bruv. Because he practiced finishing, he practiced shooting, he became a master of his craft. Footballers nowadays don't master their craft, bruv. It's a job. That's the problem with a lot of modern footballers, bruv. It's a job to them. Back in the day, right, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, if you wanted to be a footballer, you had to love it. Because the end of the day, long story short, in the 70s and 80s, being a footballer didn't pay the bills at every club, shall we say. If you're lucky enough to be in like a top flat team, you might have got enough wages to be on like apprenticeship and all them things, yeah. And you might have been able to get like 100 quid a week and probably like go through the reps. But back in the day, you had to be a footballer because you loved it. That's why when you look across all the world in these semi-professional leagues, bro, they're mechanics, they're doctors, and they train in their spare time to become better footballers and play games against like professional teams, bro. And that's why some of them that were dedicated, sometimes they win, bro. Sometimes you've seen it, bro, when a team that's got a doctor and a mechanic in it are beating like a professional football team. You've seen it yourself.
yeah.
Carl, of your lifetime when you just think, how did these guys beat them? This is part of it, bro, because like they don't have their heart in football. Like when you ask some footballers now, why do you play football? It's just a job. Well, that's not how it was back in the day, bro. You had heart. You wanted to play a ball. You wanted to be a baller, right? When did you start supporting United?
I started supporting United in 2017.
2017. All right. So you never saw it down, like say for example, in the 90s or in the like early or late 2000s when Man United and Chelsea really hated each other. You know what I mean? I mean, like the fans hated each other, the players hated each other, the management hated each other. Like nowadays, it's just like when you guys come to Stamford Bridge, it's just a handshake. Yeah, no worries. May the best team win. If you win, all right, cool, whatever. If we win, yeah, all right, cool, whatever. You move on. Back in the day, bro, if you lost to United, you're pissed. You are grieving. You are begging, bro, because you hate United. Same thing with like when Chelsea used to play Liverpool. You know what I mean? We hated them because of the goal skull thing with Mourinho and all that, and it span off for like 6 or 7 years. When we played you guys and you played them and we played Arsenal, it was hate, bro. It was time to go to war, and that's not what football's like now. That's why the heart out of football's dropped down. Because not only is it meaningless to the management, it's also meaningless to the players. Go listen to what Thierry Henry said about with the rivalry between Arsenal and Man United, like about these guys are always the one trying to take the trophy off of us. We hated them. And I'm pretty sure it's the same way. Yes, it was professional hatred. They didn't hate each other as people. It's just they were Man United and they were Arsenal. And like we want to be top dogs and we know you want to be top dogs. And that's where the competition stemmed from. Arsenal don't really care about. That's why we laugh at Arsenal, innit? Top dogs and they haven't done anything. You know, like Liverpool, they started to come back as well. You lot, 3 years you've won 2 trophies in 3 years, which ain't bad, but you guys just don't find stability. Chelsea, like we're like a Lego set. They keep on switching people in. Big up, by the way, like just in the chat. Yeah, man, it's peak, man. Because one thing about Chelsea and United, because we both spent a lot of money on players and we try and incorporate those players quickly, we're always this close to collapse.
I think also with football, we have lost our soul as well as footballers.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, bro. The soul of football, the heart of football, bro. It's not there anymore.
Yeah,
It's just
because I guess like whenever we lose to Liverpool, fans are like, "Oh, we lost to Liverpool." Then they're not angry. And also, I think United's fan base is the worst divided fan base in the world because we have
it's not.
fans who,
You don't have, even if you're a divided fan base, bro, it doesn't really matter, yeah. Because one thing about it is when it comes down to a derby game, right? And I'm pretty sure. Let me use this analogy, right? When you lot play City, you hate City, innit? You want to beat them. It don't matter how you beat them. You just want to beat them, right? And when you think about over the last couple of seasons, like you took an FA Cup off them and all that that makes you smirk, right? You know what I mean? Like that's your team pride because these are the blue upstarts.
they got a little treble. They didn't win no 20 Premier League yet, but they got a little treble and they think they can replace. Nah, fuck that shit. Get back in your place. They were the second team in Manchester, not the first one. We get the same thing because this is the thing, right? When people argue, even when, especially in London, supporting a London club, oh, Arsenal think they're the best, achieving nothing. You know, Chelsea think they're the best. We got the best European heritage. Spurs, for some strange reason, think that because they get Taylor Swift at the concert, they think they're something special. That's the weird thing about it. They host the Taylor Swift concert and they think they're on point. I don't get it. But with that kind of pride, it only exists inwards, if you know what I mean. Oh, we're Chelsea Football Club. We should be doing this and doing that. All right, then. So where's the tradition of, like, you know what I mean? The players need to know this. They need to show that. You know what I mean? Like, how many times have you seen, like, even Messi, who's one of the best footballers ever, bro. How many times have you seen that boy, yeah? Every time he's lost the ball, he just walks off like he's not interested. If that was anybody else other than Messi, it's just the fact that you understand that he can give you that little bit. Same thing with you guys and Cantona as well, back in the day, way back. Like, sometimes he would lose the ball and just walk off and not give you interested. But when you got the ball to him, he would have that little bit of magic, that little bit of stardust. He'll lob the goalkeeper from the edge of the D and it will go swinging over him like that. And that's the one thing that these players lack, bro. They lack spark. Because there's no... I don't want to be horrible and say there's nothing in them, but that's how it comes across. Like you said about the soul. There's no soul in it, brother. Football feels dry. And that's why it's hard to watch. Because it's like... do you feel like me, Jordan, sometimes you sit there and watch and you wonder if these guys are actually trying?
No, yes,
Sorry,
to be honest, I feel like whenever I watch United, I feel like there's no soul in United. There's no team in United. Like most of them here are just here for the wages. To just come, play 90 minutes, and to just collect the weekly wages, and to just go back. Same routine every game week. Like whenever we do lose, you just see only 1 to 3 players who are personally hurt by us losing, but the rest of the team they look okay, and yeah, they just move on. I feel like United we have lost that identity where we don't we no longer feels pain losing to teams, and I feel like as fans we have allowed ourselves to go down to that ability where we have lowered to our status where we don't make the players feel as if losing to City is the worst thing ever. You can never do. Because when we lost to City 3-0, I can only count like Kobe or who was there was
And the
only
thing is,
Ahmad who was sad
City was
to
shit, and they still beat you 3-0, which is what I don't get, because you got City never got out of second gear, but it's like you guys never got the motor going, and it was like they beat them 3-0. But when you look at the game, it's just like the City were terrible. You guys could have got through them so many times if you just got your pattern of play sorted out. This is because they can't defend for their lives, City. They really got no disrespect to Aaron as well. Neither can Liverpool. They can't defend for their lives either. When I heard Liverpool get like let Atletico Madrid pulled 2 goals back, I was like, what's going on here? Like, that's not like Arnie, but in what you're saying, and it also reflects to what Aaron was saying in the chat there about bringing the atmosphere and the soul back. I go back to the players, bruv. I go back to the players. That's why when Van Nistelrooy or Beckham used to score against Chelsea, you know that he was just like that. When Steven Gerrard used to, and using Aaron, I'm not sure how old he is, bless him, but when Steven Gerrard used to put a banger in against West Ham or against Chelsea, like when he was or whatever in the FA Cup final or the Champions League, he was sitting there like that. There's no passion for the team, bro. That's the thing. You don't even see that anymore. This is the thing. That this is where and I know kind of where the homegrown player's been flipped, and I know this. I think Aaron would appreciate this with Trent Alexander-Arnold, and we've got the same thing with Reece James. Even though you're supposed to be a homegrown player of Chelsea in the value, you didn't really show that, you know, especially with Liverpool fans as well with Trent, because like I know Liverpool fans when they look at it, they're like where Liverpool see it has always seen them as them against everybody else. Because I know a lot about Liverpool, like with the Bob Paisley teams and the Shanks and how Shanks like got the strip painted red. So, well, there you go. Take it, by the way, if you haven't already, when you're free, I'm 36. Okay. I'll have a look, dude. I'll have a look. But the problem is, this is the thing. This is why football was so good back in the day, bro. Because when Everton played Liverpool, not only did like the fans not like each other, the players hated each other. When Man United played Liverpool, the players hated it. When Van Nistelrooy was coming up against Gerrard and them lot, they were on it. When like Souness and them lot were coming up against like the Matt Busby teams, I think they were the Busby Babes were still around in the 70s. I'm not. Is it the 80s Souness or was it who's in the 70s? I can't try to remember like all the teams. I need to go watch some refreshers, man, because I've watched so many teams' histories. But our defense is a mess big time. Yeah, I agree, Aaron. It is. But then again, no real teams in the Premier League can't defend. Like no Premier League team can defend because we play suicide football. We genuinely play suicide football. Like, and it's that the one thing I can't understand about the Premier League, how we used to have as many varieties of teams that had a variety of styles who could hurt you in a variety of ways. Everyone's condensed to pep football. And it's kind of like, I remember in England, when you used to look at tiki-taka football and you used to laugh at it. Because you used to be like, what's this tiki-taka crap, man? Get in there, give me a diving header and score a header. And Aaron's old school, he'll understand. I started Liverpool in 97, by the way. There you go then. Look, the regeneration with Gerard Houllier and all that, what you get into what you would consider the modern era of Liverpool when they went quiet at the back end of the 90s and then they regenerated at the 2000s when they won their quad, when they got all the little trophies in that under Houllier, and then they got to the Gerrards and the Suarez's, and then it built up over the next 10 years. And then they raided Southampton. But you guys did the same thing, though, man. You guys with United over the 90s, when you guys had that Giggsies and the Scholes and the stuff like that, then because you said about the soul, you would agree that the soul's been out of the team since like the Giggsies and the Scholes and them that have gone. Just like where Chelsea, we've kind of been lucky in the terms of we've regenerated that feel-good factor after the Lampards and stuff like that, where you guys haven't done that. Because when we got rid of, say, for example, the Drogbas and the Lampards, we got the Hazards and the Costas. Then after that, we've got the the best example would have been the Giroud and maybe the Palm, or what would have been there, the Pulisic or the Mount. You know what I mean? There's always been a little bit of a combo that's pulled off for us with you guys. The culture's never followed the team down the line. Even with Liverpool now, when they've started to get rid of people like Mane, you start to get rid of people like that, and you know what I mean. Salah will go soon, but now you're bringing in the Wirtzes and this. By the way, Iketia, by the way, that guy, he looks a baller, bro. I'll be surprised if Isak can get him out of the team, because I will say this, and this is one thing I was a bit confused about Liverpool. Why have you bought two strikers worth 80 million plus? You're only going to be able to keep one happy, and the other one's not going to be happy benched. So like modern football teams, bro, we create our own problems, man. And that's the very thing. That's the very thing you saw against Chelsea, when inexperienced against Bayern. Liverpool's floppy defense against Liverpool. I haven't seen all the goals, but for what I saw of the goals, from Liverpool mistakes. Man United, your team, like you said, the backbone is there if they can get a lot of good players around them. Not really many teams, and because this is the thing, this is what I don't like about England. 20 years ago, if someone said they were going Liverpool or someone they were going United or Arsenal or Chelsea, so much hype, bruv. You know what I mean? But now, people want to leave teams like Arsenal. They want to leave teams like Newcastle. They want to leave teams like United and go to maybe like the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, and you know what I mean? They don't have that appeal anymore. Does that make sense? When you look at what Premier League team, other than maybe City, because of their success over the last few years, really stand out? What is the English equivalent of Real Madrid? Where if they came, because that's what Man United used to be, you know. This is why I bring this up. Man United used to be the English Real Madrid. And Aaron will back this up. You in it, Aaron, back in the day, during the 95 to about 2008-9 period, you knew if you were going for a player and United were going for a player, unless you were Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool, and you were stoking up some money, they were going United. Definitely, especially with Fergie at the helm, they were going United 100%. I know how FC moved well, and I think I don't care for 10 or profit until he's done there. Fair enough. I'll tell you what, I'll take him off for you guys, because I'm not being funny. When you guys signed him and he was balling for you guys in pre-season and at the beginning of this, he's a baller, you know. He looks good. He looks really good. And like Isak signing for me didn't make no sense, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, you know. Yeah, sorry. Pardon me. I didn't mean to just be distractive. But I like a lot of football. I understand a lot of teams. I know a lot of history. So I'm not coming here to like roar at Kyle. I'm here to more talk with him and sympathize with him, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I do understand, and yeah, that's what annoys me as a fan as well, because back then football used to be more passionate. It used to be more hateful. Like you could feel the tension, you could feel the excitement, you could feel it like from weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you don't feel it like the Maresca derby. I know Annie was telling me, "Oh, the Maresca derby is a big thing," but I was telling him, where's the hype around the Maresca derby for this year? You don't feel it. You don't feel the tension between the two fan bases, between Liverpool and Everton. Because back then it will have been heated. It will have been posted all over. But nowadays, like for this one feels like a quiet derby. You
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like the build up or those things. Like for the Manchester derby, United fans we do try to bring it out, but I feel like we have lost our soul where we don't hold our players accountable for when we lose to our rivals or when we lose to teams. Like as fans, we don't hold our players accountable for that.
Well, we still that. You know what it is, yeah? I think with social media, social media was one of the first fucking worst things to happen to football, and I'll tell you why. Because it's when the players think they're bigger than the clubs, bro. And the ego and the fact that they have their own little world in their back pocket, and there's 30 or 40,000 people they can go crying to when something don't like it, and if 30,000 people go, "Oh, that's not fair," everybody has to listen, and it's like, no, we don't, because like
No,
this is
like
what I don't get. Yeah, because
no,
even with the
like
impact,
when
sorry.
no, like when Garnacho was saying, "Oh, I'll rather sit out the bench and if I don't get Chelsea's move," I was like, let him sit out at the bench. I don't really care if he sits out at the bench because it will not hurt me. It will hurt him more. It will hurt his career more.
Well,
And United didn't.
let me put it this way, right? If Jose Mourinho was in charge at Newcastle right now, do you think Isaac would have got his move? Nah, because he's just saying, "I'm here. I want my best players to play." Why? Because this is the thing. This is kind of what was backwards about Newcastle. If you're looking to be ambitious, why are you selling your best players? That makes no sense. Because if I'm the Newcastle board, I'm like, we just got into the Champions League, mate. You're not going anywhere. You honor your contract. If you play as a perfect, this is what I don't get. This guy's all kissing the. This is what I was saying about the soul, and this is why Isaac hasn't got any soul, because he's kissing the Newcastle badge this season, talking about how great it is and how he wants to help build the club. But, Liverpool want to buy. Oh shit, I need to go now. You know what I mean? It's for the best. It's the best for my ambition. But hang on a minute, when you were lifting silverware with us last season, you didn't say that. And I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
They have ambitions of silverware too, and this is how you know a real G, bro, because a real G will knuckle down into the project. You know what I mean?
No, like among players, you can tell there's no loyalty among players, and when you question fan bases why there's no loyalty, they're like these are players, and I'm like they're players who die for the club, like Messi. Messi will have rather stayed at Barcelona, will have done everything for Barcelona. Like
Yeah, but
people
he
like
was
Vardy.
he
Vardy is a
did
one.
everything for them, and they did everything for him, by the way, because they helped him with the growth hormones when he was young. And I remember,
Yeah,
I remember when Lionel Messi was breaking through in like 2000. And by the way, a lot of people give Pep Guardiola credit for him. He doesn't deserve any credit, because the person to actually give Messi his debut in the first team at Barcelona, and Xavi, by the way, and Iniesta, was Frank Rijkaard. So whenever, look at what Pep did, nah, bullshit. Nah, Rijkaard already had that great team with like Eto'o, Ronaldinho, and all them like in there, and Pep Guardiola just moved in and changed certain parts of it. But with Messi, the problem with Messi is, you say he did all this for Barcelona, but when it tested his loyalty and it came down to wages, isn't it? Because obviously they were in financial strap at the time. What was wrong with Messi saying, look, all right, if you can't pay me 300 grand, I'll just pay me 100 grand, and when the club's in a better financial position, you can catch me up. That's why you'll never get another Gerrard or Lamps again. Yeah, because they stayed loyal to their teams. When Lampard left West Ham, he came to us, stuck loyal. Gerrard stuck loyal. Maldini stuck loyal to Milan. Totti to Roma. Hey, look at Matt Letizia. If I don't know if anyone other than Aaron might remember this guy. Matt Letizia, he was one of the best attacking midfielders in the world in his day. Never left Southampton. And if he did, I'm telling you, they would have got a world-class midfielder who could score volleys. He could use left foot, right foot, header. He could bend people up. And he was just a freak of football, bro, Matt Letizia. But he never went anywhere. But he was still a great player. He was another loyal guy. So
what about something like Vardy? Vardy.
Oh, Jamie, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, but he's of that generation. He's of that breed, though, or of the back end of it. Because Harold's Vardy now, 37, 38. Yeah. Well, don't forget, Wisey came from Leeds, didn't he? We got him from Leeds because he was part of the crazy gang, wasn't he, with John Fashanu and them. Look, oh, good old Wisey, good old Wisey. He'll break a leg for you nowadays. Jesus, and that's the other thing about football as well. The rules are so soft for like attacking players now because they make the rules so it's impossible to defend. You can't tackle from behind, you can't tackle from the sides, you can't catch anyone out. Polo, the GOAT, well, hey man, if you want to see a player who was the best in midfield and virtually everything he did, Clarence Seedorf. I ain't seen a midfield better than Clarence Seedorf, bro. That guy was ridiculous. In any position, you can put him right, left, central, defensive midfielder. That guy would be a baller, bro. That guy was something. Seedorf. I'll never forget when he scored that shot from the right wing, and he was like 45 yards out, and it just went like that. That was mad. That was mad.
Yeah, I remember watching Paulo. He was a great midfielder.
Yeah, of course he did. Juventus and Milan. That guy was everywhere in Italy, man. That guy was like Aaron just said. That guy's a true pimp. Yeah, Paulo, because wherever he's gone, he's owned the midfield. That's just how to be fair. There you go,
I think they think that I admire about Italian football is how passionate they are about the football.
Bro, let me let you in a little secret. If you want to see the most passionate fans, and I mean they'll live, eat, and die for the clubs, Turkey or Italy.
Yeah.
Because you can get murdered in those countries for doing things wrong for your team over there. I'm telling you, damn that diabolical fanaticism.
And I feel like English fans should learn something from Turkey or Italy, but how passionate you can be for your club, how you can make.
Well, the thing is, they've subdued the culture of football in England a lot because they've put a lot more restrictions on it. You used to remember when you used to go to football games, you used to be able to shout out what you want, you used to be able to drink, you could eat, you could smoke. You know what I mean? Like, all these restrictions they've slowly put on football when it comes to managing the crowds and stuff like that, bro. That's kind of what it is because I'm not being funny. I've been to a few football games recently, and sometimes it's like a match day experience. But when you go with the police and stuff there, it's like going into an airport, in and out of an airport. You know what I mean? Don't forget the South American ones too, but the clubs. Yeah, of course, Pele's, all those great players that played over there that never came to America from America to England. Hey man, I remember Portugal. Who remembers Eusebio as well, bro? What a baller, Benfica player. Right, there's lots of legends, man. You can learn a lot just by looking at World. And this is the other thing I don't like about it when everyone sits there and calls other leagues farmers' leagues. It's just like everyone calls Spain a farmers' league, everyone calls France a farmers' league, but yeah. The Farmers League French team beat almost every single big team in England, with the exception of Chelsea last season. And that's not even a flex because we've started the season so disjointed. That's not even a flex, man. It didn't mean that much, to be honest. But like when you look at Madrid and Barcelona have been dominating their leagues. They've won like 13 titles over the last 16 years. Real Madrid in the Champions League speak for themselves. They're just ridiculous, but they're going through a big rebuild process because they've come to the tenure at the ends of like the Benzemas and stuff like that, the Krooses, all that 2016-17 team. So they're going to struggle for a little while, I think, in Europe. I was watching the game. He told me to stop running the glass on the side. Yeah, man, different time and age, Aaron. Different time and age, bro. Bro, I remember I used to go to West Ham games, right? When I was a kid, right? Let me let you guys on a little secret. I used to get into Premier League games for £1 in the 90s.
Wait,
£1
for a pound.
for £1, bro. And I'll tell you why. Yeah, back in the day when Premier League games never used to fill out, particularly clubs like West Ham and Fulham and stuff like that, they used to have children for £1. So if there was like empty seats in the stadium and you were a youngster, you could go out there, pay on the match day. You could pay £1, and they would let you in the stadium and you can go watch the match. So that's what me and my mate Charlie did. Every couple of weeks, or every time we got a chance to go down to what's their old ground called again? Upton Park, excuse me. Every time we used to be able to bowl down to Upton Park and check if is there any spare tickets for a kid there? Yeah, here you go, pay your £1, off you go. I got to see Cantona, all those kind of guys, the Canio, all those kind of all for fucking £1, bro. You can't beat old school football, bro. You really can't. Like football back in the day can now it's just too monetized, bro. It's too much. There's just too much control. And it really is. It's just crap.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I feel like with football nowadays, there's too many rules. You don't enjoy poor football by watching it nowadays. There's too many restrictions on what fans can do or what fans cannot do. Even the game itself, there's always changes to the offside rule. There's always changes to everything via virtual assistant referee as well. Like pure football has been lost. Passionate football has been lost. Like nowadays, football feels more commercialized, more
€5.
artificial. Like you're asking yourself, what happened to times when wingers used to be wingers? What happened to the time when midfielders used to dominate the midfield?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you find these footballers are more like athletics than footballers.
Well, I think the problem is with another problem, and I go back to the players on this one, is because the players are not picked out individually that much anymore. It's the team performance. All right, yeah, great. I'll pick out an individual if I think he's crap. They tend to blame the whole team nowadays and don't really pick out because nowadays back in I've heard people say back in the day it was more about individualism and nowadays it's more about team systems. Well, I've lost track the amount of times I've seen teams play systems that don't work and they've tried to accommodate the system, or should I say, the players to the system and not the other way around, the system to the players you've got. So, like, football's backwards, bro. What can I say?
Also, I feel like nowadays these players are also too soft. Can sometimes find like these players they don't know how to stand up to criticism. Like a player like Garnacho, you can tell him the truth that oh you need to improve on this and this and
It's salt
he'll feel
merchants, bro.
petty.
This is what I said about social. They become egotistical, bro. They're salt merchants. They're not professional footballers, bro. That's the point. This is why I said to you earlier about they don't develop their game. They're just egotistical athletes. You don't like what you hear, you complain about it, and you say you want it different. Now, Isak was a great example of that. And the joke thing is, when a player like that starts running his mouth, what could Newcastle do to stop him?
They cannot do anything to stop him because if they did do something to stop him, the fans will look at it. Oh, you're being this and this way. I think football clubs need to stand up and then say enough is enough. At this point, we need to do something to save our football before we lose it.
Tough. Too late. Corporate football's taken over, bro. It'll never be like how it was. Because that's the problem. And that's why part of what you guys are saying about the spirit and the culture of the clubs is because of corporate football. Remember, in Spain and Italy, and even in the first divisions, there are some teams that are still owned by the fans. Not in England. And that's part of the reason why these clubs, like you said about losing the spirit and losing the culture. About when Fergie and David Gill was in charge of Man United, that's when Man United were Man United because they had the people in the board as well that wanted the team to do well. In fact, they demanded the team to do well. And that's what drove you guys to success. That demand's not there no more, man. Let's not forget the transfer fees to the games. Well, this is the funny thing, Aaron, that they want teams to play more games, do more like performances. Like, look at the Champions League, bro. They've added like everyone 14, 15 extra games. But yeah, oh no, operate on a smaller budget and you can't buy a load of players. Because look at Newcastle. Newcastle have got the richest owners in world football, but they can't spend it because of the financial caps in the game. And I'll tell you what, it's kind of like how, and that's the problem. Football was the last of that kind of sports. Because when you look at F1, football, basketball, all these sports, in terms of their actual like enjoyment and popularity, it was actually higher back in the day. Like, because like that's why say people say when they compare LeBron James to say Michael Jordan, LeBron James will never be on Michael Jordan's level purely because of the fact of when Michael Jordan was the face of the NBA, everybody loved the NBA. Like if you played the game NBA Jam on Mega Drive or whatever you were playing, you were running around going like, he's on fire. Like when you used to like get your slam dunks and stuff like that. It's the same thing with football and F1 when they used to just put too many rules on it, too many, you got to do this and you got to do that. It killed it, bruv. Like it just sucked the soul out of it. And that's why, for me, like when it comes down to it, a lot of sports aren't as good as what they were. F1's not as good as what it used to be. Limitated it down, brung it down. The car power got brought down. More safety features. You know what I mean? There's a lot more automatic control now than what there was. Like it's like if you put Senna in his prime into a modern car, he wouldn't be able to drive it because the computer inside the car is dictating half of it already. So, you know, the same thing with footballers, like their systems and whatever else. You can't do this, you have to do it this way because if you do it, you're going to fuck up our system and we can't handle that. That's why when players make mistakes in football nowadays, it's so blatantly obvious because normally when they make a mistake, the team gets completely exposed, normally at the back. I could be wrong though. I'm being called. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. So I think also it could be right as well, because also the transfer fees are ridiculous. Like someone like Isaac, you look at his value and wondering, is he really worth 120 million? Is and something like Isaac, you can look at it and then say he's worth 80 million or something like that. I feel like the transfer market is gone. We're buying footballers for the stats, for how popular they are as well. But if you look at it, are they really worth that amount of money? And then when we overpay for these footballers, we increase their expectations, and then we say the flop not because they cannot meet our bare expectation, but because they cannot meet our increased expectation of overpaying for those players. Yes, Annie, you are right about it. Yeah. So I think like as football, we have lost the plot as football, and yeah, there's a quote that says there's beauty in simplicity. Once you introduce too many rules, you make things complicated. That's when you lose the beauty in things being simple. Like football used to be simple. That's why we enjoyed it. That's why we played it. It's because it was simple. The main aim was to go score a goal, or the main aim was to prevent somebody from scoring a goal. Then we started building up on rules slowly but slowly, VAR, offside, this and this. That's when football became boring because we lost the thing that made it fun originally. Yeah, so yeah. So I feel as football, we lost ourselves. And yeah, so back to United and Chelsea, I'll say that if this game it will be a tight game. And yeah, I see. Hopefully, I want my team to win. Uh, We need 3 points, obviously, to beat Chelsea. But also, I think, yeah,
Yeah, sorry about that. I gotta go in a minute because my food's ready. So, what do you think the score will
yes,
be, Carl?
yeah, you can give your lineup for Chelsea game, and then we can give the scoreline. Then we can wrap it up.
Mm. What do you reckon? It still be 2-1 to you guys? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was saying it goes to be 2-1 for Chelsea.
Oh, you think it'll be two? You think you'll lose? All right then.
No, I think you guys will win.
Well, I hope we win. Oh man, we never really played that great against United, and I'm not being funny. I'm going to say a draw. I hope we win like 2-0 or 2-1, but I think we're going to draw again because we've had like, what, 3 games in like 7 days. So I think the team's just going to be a little bit jaded. Because I'm not going that game against Bayern wouldn't have helped because these guys did a lot of running and they go, what, Thursday and they're playing on Saturday. Not a lot of time to recover. So I got a feeling like he's going to do what he did at like last week when he's going to make some mad changes and we're going to have like Benetti in midfield again. So I don't know. It depends, man. Because if he makes a silly mistake, I can see you guys beating us, bro. If he starts like how he did against Brentford, I can see you guys beating us because you'll go like 2-0 up and we won't be able to catch the game back. Yeah, I'm just going to agree with Carl there, 2-1, because there's too many variables, man. We wouldn't want to bet on this one. I'm going to agree with Carl, 2-1. 2-1, 2-1. Chelsea. Blue is the colour.
Yeah, I'll want to see my team obviously win, but the way I look at it is each part of United will show up to Old Trafford at that time. Will it be the side of United that wants to win or the United that we have been seeing this season?
And last season. Don't forget, this is bro. It's like they just picked up for where they left off last year, man. Or last season. It's terrible, man.
Yeah, like I want to see like you know how United played under Ole. We played good football under Ole. The
Mm-hmm.
only issue is that the players threw him under the bus and then he was sacked. But if I'm considering the best football we played after Sir Alex Ferguson, it was under Ole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know United fans will say no, that's not possible, but we played our best football under Ole. It was entertaining football. Even rivals, as a rival, you can say he enjoyed watching United play games under Ole than now.
Well, it was all Ollie at the wheel, and everything was going to be all right, and whatever. And then it just didn't quite happen for you guys, man. And Ollie, we trust. I don't know, man. And then with the way
Yeah, and
things are going on, it's
anyway,
mad.
what's your predicted lineup for the game?
Well, I would go Estavo on the left, Pedro Neto on the right, João Pedro, Palmer, Enzo Concedo, Reece James, Adebayo, Chalaba, Cucurella, Sanchez.
Okay, I think for me, my predicted lineup is uh, goalkeeper. I'll go for Lemens. I think I want to see Bendia being dropped from the starting 11. And also, I think also want to see Maguire start games as well. I'm tired of seeing Luke Shaw starting games at a back three. Luke Shaw is not fit to play back three. And then also I want to see what the elite play games, the elite and Roro play there. So I think I want to see physical centre backs against Chelsea because that's what we need, physicality in our defense. Yeah, and in the middle of the pack, I'll say I'll go for Kobe to partner with Casemiro, and then the wing backs I'll say is what Mazuari and Dogo. Then the attacking midfielders I'll say is Obumo and Bruno, and striker option is Sesko. To be honest, there's no other striker that we have except from Sesko
Mm.
because Chido is too young to play. And Zax is not fully a striker. He's more of a 9.5. You know those kind of striker profiles.
Yeah, Windows 2.0, all that.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
can say United only has one striker at the club fully, and that's Sesko.
What about Hoyland?
Holland is at Napoli. He's
He's
going
gone.
to sign for Napoli next summer permanently.
Mm.
So United technically only has one striker left.
Yeah, man, your squad, something else. Something else. I thought ours was a bit jumbled up, but there. Only one recognised. Then again, we've only got one recognised left back in our team, so
No, I
yeah.
think the way I look at United is it's like a team of Avengers. Like let's go pick this player from here. Let's go pick this player from here. Let's go pick these players and then let put them all together. Let's try to make something that works instead of trying to. I think United's recruitment, we should find a way of saying what kind of players do we want to have in our midfield? What kind of player profiles do we want for our midfield? What kind of player profiles do we want for our defense? What kind of player profiles do we want for our strikers? Then they come and then ask how many players do we have currently who fit these profiles, and how many players do we need to sign to fit these profiles? Is there enough squad depth? Can the manager go to his bench and then say, I can with confidence bring on this player and this player without feeling like I could lose the game? Because I feel like United over and over, our squad depth has been poor where the managers is losing a game and they don't trust in the bench to come on and save the game.
Well, you said yourself then about the depth in it, United being old, so part of the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, the depth quality is the issue, and the lack of depth as well.
Right. Oh man, how much time are you gonna give Almiron? Are you gonna do what Arsenal fans have done with Arteta? Are you gonna wait another 5 years and see where he's at, or what?
I think the thing with Amrin, he needs to start showing results. He's playing a formation that we are not used as used to as fans. We are not used to playing our back three. So I think with fans, we're not really the most patient fan base. We're not like Arsenal or we trust the process. We're like a fan base where we say we trust the process, but we need results that show that there's progress in trusting the process. And with Amir and how we didn't perform well last season, we're not performing well this season. So I feel like fans will start slowly turning on on Ruben as a manager, and I won't be surprised if Ruben, if he continues this way, that he won't be at the club in 2026, January 2026. I feel like he could be sacked in December, and
Right.
then we'll go on and bring on a new manager. The manager will repeat the same process as Amir. He gets sacked after 2 years, then the same process continues.
Time will tell. Time will
Yeah.
tell.
And then after four managers, you find there's a team that is a collection of four managers playing styles instead of one manager playing style.
Just have to say, time will tell.
Yeah,
Same thing with us as well. To be honest, same thing with us. We'll have to see because the expectation on Enzo is higher as well. So we'll have to see how he finishes because he's got to do at least as good as what he did last season for me. That means like higher up the Premier League and at least one trophy. He's got to, man. He's got to. If you're trying to raise the standard, then you can't let the standard slip.
yeah, and I think with United we need to start saying as fan base we need to raise our standards. We need to stop accepting mediocrity performances, and we need to call the manager and the players to a meeting where we say we are tired as a fan base of getting this kind of results. We need to wake up as a club and we need to start saying we are Man United. We cannot accept such results. I know you are building something here, but you also have to adapt to how we were and
Mm-hmm.
how because I'm sure when you signed up as a United player, manager. He knew how United was in the past and how United is known for. So he knew that signing up as United manager, the pressures, and you have to accept for yourself that at one point you'll have to adapt to how United is and not how you want to play.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have to let the story told, innit? Another page in the book. See how it
Mm.
unfolds. Because I'm not being funny. It could go drastically wrong for both of us, to be honest. So, because I'm not being funny, we've already got one big major absentee in Levy Colwill, by the way, because he was playing great at the back end of last season, and I think that we missed him in that Bayern game because there wasn't any really one at the back sweeping up. So if we get one or two more hard injuries, bro, we're screwed, to be honest. So time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah, and I saw Annie mentioned something about Alvaro Carceres. I think I blame Ten Hag for letting go of Alvaro. Ten Hag did not give Alvaro time to play as a left back. I kept on saying when that Alvaro should get game time, but Ten Hag did not give Alvaro game time. And look at how Alvaro is playing well for Real Madrid. Imagine if Ten Hag gave Alvaro game time, United will have had a wonderful left back at the club. But now that wonderful left back is at Real Madrid, doing wonders for Real Madrid instead of at United.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, man. It is what it is, bro. You got to move on. You got to move on. United didn't see it. That means it might not have ever worked for him at United. Who knows? Especially with the way United are at the moment, where I'm sorry, I don't mean to be horrible when I say that, but you've got a load of players there that you're not making it work with. You're gonna add one more like ingredient to the meal, so to speak, and make it even more like bad. Too many chefs spoil the broth, bro. Old saying. What they need to do is just get out. For me, United just need to get that squad sorted, and then just get one manager in for 2-3 seasons, right? So they know he's the boss, and then you can go from there. But anyway, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you because I'm gonna go eat my dinner. So
Yeah,
let me just
and
say big up because we've been going for about nearly 2 hours. So I'm going to split because I've got my food coming. Well, my food isn't ready, so it's downstairs. But thank you for having me on, brother. It's been good banter. Obviously, if you can like check me out at Fang Division if you ever like. I might be. I don't know if Carl's doing a watch along. If he wants to do a joint one when we're both on there or something, I don't know. But yeah,
which is
big
when
up for
what
having me
time?
on. Pardon?
What time is it?
What the game?
Yeah, for the
5:30.
watch along.
With the watch
Oh
along, it'll be at 5:30. Because if you want to, you're gonna jump on with us, or do you want to do your own one? Your own one.
no, I think I'm going to drop onto your channel for 30 minutes, and then before I go
Yeah,
on
because
to for
it'll
dinner.
just be the usual. Me, JPT, and Stepsy. So you know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah,
Wolfgang Division. If anyone wants to like from obviously Carl's channels and wants to come and share some banter with us, no problem. Do so. All fans are welcome on my channel. You know, regardless of the team you support, as long as you're calm, level-headed, and you actually know what you're talking about. Poof. I may come down. To be honest, right at the minute, Aaron, I've been so busy with other things. My house is getting rebuilt. So and Carl will tell you this. I used to be doing shows every week, and over the last few months, I've had to put everything to a halt, bro, because the hall's being done, the rooms are being done. So if I can do a preview for the game, I will with JPT and them not. But at the minute, you'll probably just find me doing and watching on my YouTube time's been mass. Life gets in the way, bro. That's why I just call myself a fan and not a YouTuber. You know what I mean? Because it's just one of those ones where I do it when I can. That's pretty much all I can do. But yeah, it'll be great to see you though. It'll be great to see you, Aaron. Come down on my channel, bro. It'll be great to see you for the banner. And if Carl's free tomorrow, that time, it's like Carl. What's it like on my channel?
yeah. I think there's more of a community at your channel.
Oh, is it? All right, there you go then. So there's lots of banter there as well. You know what I mean? Like, come join us. Like, you know what I mean? You got more subscribers than me. How can there be more of a community like in my channel than there is as yours? You got more subscribers than me, bro. You got like twice my channel size. Like, you ain't got a community yet. Come on. Aaron's here. That's a start. Come on. But yeah, like What do you want to? What do you want to just do something maybe a little something before the game? Then, what time are you free tomorrow, then, Carl?
For what?
The Man United Chelsea game.
Or for the preview?
Yeah, because I might do a little preview just before the game, a little 10-minute thing.
Yeah, I think I might be free like an hour before the game.
All right, then. So what I'll do tomorrow, when I've got a better idea how my day is going to look, what I'll do a couple of hours before the game, I'll give you a shout out. All right, we'll go from there. Because I'm not being funny. I want to say yes, yes, yes. I think he means your chat being more active. Oh, I see. All right, yeah. Sometimes
Yeah, that's what I mean.
that's the YouTube world, bro. When you're little guys like us, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're like, oh wow, it's really busy today. You know what I mean? Take it with a pinch of salt, bro. It goes up and down. It goes up and down. That's it, man. But
Yeah, that's what I mean.
he knows he's part of my channel anyway. He's part of the community of my channel anyway because he's been on there quite a lot. So, you know what I mean? Like, he knows he's part of the groovy gang. He knows this. So, you know, everyone that comes on my channel is part of it, man. I didn't build up my channel the way I did on my own because you can't build up anything on your own on YouTube. I need Aaron, I need you, I need like everybody. You know what I mean? That's what YouTube is. And the thing is, I don't run my mouth like a lot of that's why I don't tend to do a lot of shit. Because I don't run my mouth like how a lot of mainstream Chelsea fans do. Because 80%, 90% of what they talk about isn't real. It's just fiction that everyone just creates up just to like have a bit of banter. So, but yeah, that's fine. That's just not really how I do my shows, my thing. I like facts. I don't like theory. Pardon me. But that's how I roll.
Big up Wolfie for joining the stream. It was enjoyable having you on for the
Thank you, man.
past 108 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a long time, nearly 2 hours, man. I thought it was just going to be a quick thing, like half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I've been sitting in nearly 2 hours. But good on you, man. Thank you. And big up Aaron as well, bro. Thank you very much, man. You've made a good little chat between the three of us, even if you've just been dropping comments on there. Big up on yourself, man. Like Babson. Oh, don't start, man. Bruv, Arsenal fans are the most toxic fan base in the last 20 years of English football. And I'll tell you why. You've never had in any other kind of like fan base in and out, and you've got in the same fan base two sides. I've never seen that in any other fan base other than Arsenal. Like, because normally, like, you'll have people that want managers in or out, but they'll do what's best for the team. Nah, man, these guys will punch each other up differently. They're crazy, yo. Then again, you can't blame them. They got man like Ty and Nigao and them lot as part of their fan base. So, you know, what can I say?
Pick up. Anyway, I think we can leave as I wrap it up. I know you want to go and have your dinner, right? Yeah.
I'm hungry, man. Barely rumbling. I come back from doing shop. I did tell you, innit? I was going shopping before I came back and did this thing. Literally, like, I just quickly and quickly ran up here. Like, that's why I was a little bit late, because when I tried to log onto my phone, for some reason my Instagram completely logged out. So yeah, like, when I tried to log in from my phone, Instagram telling me there's a problem on your phone with your account, unusual activity. I'm like, I ain't got time for this stuff. Let me just quickly, and I think that's why like the audio was out. I'll have to check that later. But sorry about being late. I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, let me wrap it up then, as you can leave. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Anyway, thank you guys for joining this stream. This was an enjoyable stream. I'll see you guys next time, and make sure you subscribe to Football Overseas YouTube channel and like the stream and share with your friends and family members. Yeah, let's try to build an active community. Let's try to build an active chat, because that's what we are striving at right now. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thanks for watching Football Overseas. We appreciate you joining us for today's live stream.